Hey everyone, and welcome to the After, those are parentheses, show. I'm Tessa with Mama's Geeky. I'm joined by two of my besties. We are so excited to talk more Hazbin Hotel season 2. We are on to episodes 3 and 4. But before we get into them, Rachel, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, hello, I'm Rachel. I bop around and I freelance for several sites, such as that hashtag show, the Mary Sue, Mama's Geeky when Tessa needs some help. You'll see me soon at some other sites coming up. But Hazbin Hotel and Hello Boss have consumed my entire reading.
You're
So
welcome.
we're here. Yeah, thank you, Tessa. We're here. I am 3 months into knowing of the existence of these shows and making a podcast. So I just genuinely hope people are interested in what we have to say, especially about these two episodes. I think
Yes.
people are gonna be excited.
We saw these a while back because we are press and we were like texting each other like, oh my God.
It's been a long month. The
Yeah.
only thing I can say is it has been a long month keeping these things like inside.
Yes.
It's the countdown is on as we're recording this to being able to talk about it
It's crazy.
It's
online.
also just us screaming at each other with everything.
Yes. Caps. Well, so Sophie, real quick, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm not press. I'm just like press adjacent. I just help out with stuff. I recently helped with New York City Comic Con. That was really fun. Only 2 months in at that part with this show, but thankfully Rachel introduced me to it. Fell in love with this show immediately, and it's all thanks to Miss Tessa over here.
Listen, I just can't not yap about this show, and now you two understand why I can't not yap.
And
about
I love that we're doing this, to be honest, because it's just like, what better way for us to just like talk about this show than just like something like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have, so if this is your first time watching, say you totally missed our first episode. First of all, go back and watch it because it's a great one. But we get to break down the songs with Sam Haft. Like, hello. If you don't know, he's the writer of all the songs. We get to break down every single song with him. That's coming later. And I can't even say maybe. We will have special guests, so stay tuned, especially for the last couple of episodes, you guys. Things are going to be crazy.
We're cooking up some stuff.
We are. But Sophie mentioned at New York Comic Con, and we are actually going to be weaving in some clips from roundtables we did at New York Comic Con, talking about some key moments in these two episodes. Stuff we all want to talk about. We're going to go in order. So y'all are going to have to wait for the episode 4 talk. We're going to talk about episode 3 first, which was so much fun. Like, I had a blast seeing Charlie just trying to figure out how to redeem people so quickly and instantly.
Yeah.
In front of the V's. I almost said the Voxes. In front of the V's.
Boxes.
In front of
I mean, in Vox's mind, they are the boxes.
Yeah, it's true. This is true. I had so much fun with this episode, but what did you guys think?
Oh my God. I loved this episode. I am so happy because like one of the things I did not realize until I talked to Christian Borle on the season 2 carpet was that Vox was not in a lot of season 1. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, he really wasn't in there 'cause I love him. So getting to see him like interact with other characters, especially Charlie, because we all know they are like the polar opposite,
Yeah.
and we all know that they're going to clash. So it's so funny seeing him just kind of like suffer through his visit to the hotel just so he can get to his end game of somehow finagling Charlie into doing something stupid to
Which
get it
he was
for
successful
the
at
air,
because she's like,
and
yeah,
which he was successful.
I can do this right now. I already did it
We
once.
can
Let's do it
Yeah.
we can
again. Come
redeem
on.
someone. Let's go.
On the spot, no big deal. A bunch of cameras pointing at me. I got this. It's like, Charlie, girl,
Charlie,
no.
no. You
Think
don't
about
like, do
this.
you not realize like he's a media overlord for a reason?
Right.
He
Exactly.
manipulates the media for a reason.
It's so, oh boy, manipulating the media. It's right on trend with with the world today. But that's what I love about the shows. I feel like there's things that weave in here that you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is our life. Great, good.
And it's crazy to think
It's
about the
crazy.
fact that, this was recorded and animated like
So long ago. Yeah.
so long ago.
Yeah.
And it's still somehow even more relevant, honestly.
I know.
Like it's a little bit eerie. So now I'm scared. Like, what are seasons 3 and 4 going to be like?
Oh no.
What are we bringing into those?
Yeah, Viv, please don't send us down. We're gonna blame her.
I'm scared. I'm scared. We know Rue's coming. I'm scared what Rue's gonna bring up in real
that
world.
one scares me.
I know.
I'm so terrified. That's one thing. Oh, yeah. We are going to do some deep dives into the lore on this podcast also, because I'm a nerd and I love doing deep dives into the lore. So prepare yourselves for some things, which also we didn't talk about it the last episode, but we saw what is presumably Angel's sister.
I know. She's so cute.
We saw Molly. She's adorable. So now it's like, okay, so we've seen Arachnus because he was in the finale of season 1, and now we've seen Molly. So quite clearly, Viv is very strategic about these things. So quite clearly, we are leading up to something, presumably next season.
I know.
Which also ties into Angel's storyline in this particular episode, because he is the one that is chosen to be Speedrun To Redemption. Great song, FYI.
Great song.
Great fucking song. It's so fun. Good. It is so hilarious. Charlie is absolutely unhinged for that whole song.
So crazy. I love it.
And it's one of those things where I feel like that song can only be made, and I don't remember if Sam talked about it with this one. I know he did with some other ones, but it could only be made because now they know these actors and their characters and how their vocal talents. Because I don't think they would.
And it was also
like
like
be able to do
him like seeing them interacting with each other and how they were like going off of each other. So it was like they got their personalities like actually in these characters, which I feel like is the best thing.
Oh, it's so good.
Absolutely.
It's so good. I love how we get confirmation, which I think a lot of people kind of assumed anyway, but we get confirmation that like each person has a specific thing they need to do to be redeemed. Like it's not just like a blanket statement of like, this is how you are redeemed. You know what I mean? So obviously Serpentius, we know, which we've learned in the second episode. I was like, I don't remember. I watched them all.
I was like, the first, the second,
hard.
Whatever.
In the second episode, we learned that like, you know, he sat back in his human life and just like let stuff happen, and he didn't speak up. And so him actually like standing up for people is what, you know, really redeemed him. So how are we going to redeem the rest of these people? Well, I don't know. But boy, does she try to force Angel to be redeemed.
And boy, does Husk get himself into situations.
I will tell you, I said this before we started recording, but like, I felt so Boris and Natasha of like, you know, like her like Charlie like twisting her mustache.
Her little mustache.
Like, where did you get these fake mustaches? Like girl.
Listen, she probably was like, Dad, can you create this fake mustache? Stop, not Amazon.
Don't do Amazon.
It's a Prime Video.
I ordered.
Do you think Amazon is still just Amazon in hell?
I can't trust them. No.
That's so funny. No, but I love that song. I love that part. It's so fun. But then
it's so fun. But then
we got that big reveal, guys.
We got the big reveal. So, you know, Angel's about to take one for the team. He's about to sacrifice himself to save Husk. And, you know, at the very last moment, Baggy saves him. Woohoo.
I know. I love
Thanks,
that
Queen.
But it's when was it Vox or I think it was Vox. He like tampered with the
he
brakes.
cut the brakes.
Yeah, he cut the brakes.
I remember Charlie was
like, He's like, I saw it didn't pose a threat or something like that, so I cut the brakes. And so, and then we find out, you know, Charlie's coming to the realization that, okay, so maybe it's not
that easy.
A blanket amount of sins. It is the sin that would have sent you to hell, no matter what you'd done in your life. Yeah. And so we find out that Vox knows what Angel's sin was.
Which is also crazy that Vox knew.
Yeah.
There's got to be something to that.
It's probably
There's gonna be.
Valentino's big
it's
mouth. Probably
Valentino.
saying
Well,
something.
yeah, I'm sure Valentino
No,
doesn't know how
yeah,
to
it's
stop
Valentino's
yapping.
big ass mouth. Because, as we find out this episode, they're fucking. They're
Yeah.
lovers.
I know.
Which we already
So
knew.
it's pillow talk. We already knew. I know.
We all knew they were.
Like,
So, like,
I will tell you, I
the
saw
tension is really heavy. Like, even in that first episode, it's just like you feel it.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Was it Static
I
Moth?
know.
Ship it.
Yeah, it
Love
was
Static
No,
Moth.
radio static. Or wait, oh,
No,
Static
radio
Moth.
Yeah,
static. Radio. Yeah, it's like radio
I
static.
got the other one stuck in my head because I keep seeing it.
But it was funny because that was on our, you guys know if you've been on my channel, I yap all the time about this stuff, but they sent us a do not reveal list. And on the do not reveal list was their relationship. And I was like, guys, come on.
That was one of those
we
ones
all
where I was
knew
like,
this.
that, and then what we're going to be discussing for next episode. I was like, we all knew this already. But I guess if you aren't familiar with the lore,
yeah,
you wouldn't really know.
you wouldn't
some of these things,
yeah.
some of these things are like, if you're just a casual like reviewer or viewer, yeah, you probably wouldn't know. But we're all nerds here.
I was so unfazed by them like being in bed together. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I was like,
Nope.
yeah, that's what I expected.
This is me. I'm like,
and
yes.
Then they cut over to Alastor.
That was crazy. I know we're so skipping ahead. We are all over the place, guys. But hopefully,
okay.
All right, rein it in. Angel.
We're reining it in. Angel's earthly sin, which Fox knows, and he tries to get Fox not to say, is that, spoiler alert, huge reveal, he killed his dad.
He killed his dad. Why? How? What's the story there?
How?
I need to know.
We know that we know that Angel comes from a mob family.
Yeah.
So we need to know why and how he was the one that ended up killing his dad. And also, where is his dad? Because his dad has to, unless he got killed in an extermination, his dad has got to be down there somewhere.
I would imagine.
So
he's certainly not in heaven.
He's certainly, he's not up there with Molly.
Yeah,
he's not up in heaven. He's down in hell. What is it? I can never remember his dad's name. Henrin or something like that. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm spacing on it, but yeah. So we find out that Angel killed his dad, and
wild, crazy,
wild and devastating. Like,
yes, that part was like so emotional because Angel's face, like you could tell it was like, here's the thing, Angel is so sweet. Like Angel really is so sweet that I can only imagine he must have been pushed to his absolute limits, or it was an accident. But if it was an accident, would it be a sin? I don't know.
I think,
but I think it's also like,
I mean, Penn just went to hell for what he did, so
yeah, I was gonna say
maybe
in a way it's like him killing him made it a sin because it's just like he wanted to do it for so long, maybe. So it's just like maybe that one last thing pushed it. He was like, you know what? I don't care. I have no remorse.
Yeah,
he killed him. However, he killed him. Bang, bang, bang. I don't know.
But I'm sad
little
for
Tommy
Angel
guns
because you could tell he's affected by it. Yeah.
I need Blake Roman to pay for my therapy for his vocal performance this season and in that episode specifically.
I know. And last season, Blake.
And last season.
The hell? You're breaking us all, Blake.
You're hurting our souls, which means you're doing a good job.
I was going to say, which is what you're
job.
supposed to do. I guess you're getting paid to do that, so fine.
But we also get a little bit more in this episode where there's some Husker dust happening.
I love
little subtle, but we see Husk. He's gonna say something. He doesn't.
I know.
What's he gonna say?
Them. I
am.
They're like my favorite ship. I think probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In terms of like things that I realistically ship, because let's be real, I can ship everybody with everybody.
Right. That's fair.
In this
a lot
show.
are not realistic.
We're gonna do Velvet
not realistic.
and Charlie. Get it going.
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
I'm sure
get
it
it going. I feel like that'd be a fantastic song.
Look, I love Radio Apple, so I know that's never going to happen for obvious reasons, but doesn't stop me from reading it.
You know, exactly. It doesn't stop me.
Angel and Husk, though. Angel and Husk. It's such a good slow burn too. Like this what we get in this episode is literal crumbs, but it's so good with what they give us. It's not oh my god.
It's giving me Shameless vibes.
Yes.
With Ian and Nikki.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That,
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my god. the best.
I agree with you. Yeah. Yes, I agree.
You need to watch it. Actually, only watch the first like 5 seasons. Don't watch the rest.
Well,
the rest is
that's
garbage.
still a lot of things to watch.
But
I don't know
it's
if you
so
know that.
good.
It takes time
I know,
to watch.
not right now. Don't watch it right now.
All right, bye guys. I gotta go watch. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, we can't record this pod anymore. We made Tessa go watch Shameless.
Yes. Yeah.
Jeremy Allen White, I love you.
Oh, listen, I want to watch it. It was just one of those things. We are so off topic. It was one of those things that, like, if I'm not covering it, it's hard to watch it. You know what I'm talking
Valid.
about.
I got you. Okay, anyway.
Angel killed his dad. Wild, crazy. And then I thought that was like gonna be the big reveal of the like 2 episodes. Because there's usually at least one like jaw dropping, right? You're like, what? Oh my God. And Viv was like, hold my beer. Here's episode 4. And then we get so much Alistair goodness. I was so excited for that.
She said, Alistair girlies, gender neutral. This is for you.
Listen.
And it's the best. Listen, we get Alistair, Lucifer at the beginning of that episode fighting. We get to see the mugs in all their glory for the first time.
Good. I know.
I either need Amazon to make them or they're on Etsy, like people make the fan mugs, but I don't want to wait. They have one that's like Alistair's that says like duck season, but it's like $30 shipping. I'm like, I don't really want to pay $40 for
Amazon would be smart to make. I'm sorry, Prime Video would be smart to make.
Prime Video. Yeah, Prime Video. If you're listening, if you're watching, please
make us mugs, or just make them for us and send them to us.
Yeah, make us,
and then we can hold them while we're drinking the.
We want to be the TM podcast for Prime Video for Hazbin Hotel.
Exactly.
The podcast. But anyways. Anyway,
that was great.
We get that.
No, that scene is great.
We get to see Alistair push to his limits to where he finally says, "Fuck this, I quit." Which reminds me of
that would happen.
No, me either.
Which was crazy.
I didn't think it would, but we find out why it did because we all know that Alistair has a lot of rage that he holds in.
Does he?
And none of us. What? No. Alistair having problems with rage? Absolutely not. But we all know
he's so unlike him. That's so unlike him.
He's such a sweetheart. But that reminds me of discourse that I saw online where people are like, having Alistair swear takes away from his character, and I'm like,
no, it does not.
He swears like 5 times in this show. And this is one of them. And it's because Lucifer has finally pushed him to his limit. And he's like, I'm leaving. You've pissed me off enough. Mm-hmm. So he leaves. He's like, I'm gone. I'm not helping with the hotel anymore. He's like, I'm going to go to Cannibal Town. I'm going to see Rosie. So we're like, ooh, haha. Friends.
Gossip time with his
time. That's what we all thought.
Time. We all thought. And then he says, I quit the hotel. And Rosie drops the bomb. That's like, you can't do that. And then what do we get? We get a flashback to Alistair's life on Earth.
Which was amazing. And he looked so good.
He looked so good. Oh my God. It was everything that I wanted his human form to be. I was like, this is fucking perfect. He is the Hannibal Lecter of his universe.
He's crazy.
He said, I'm going to eat the root. Well, I'm not going to eat the root, but I'm going to kill the root. And then I'm going to keep the root's bodies in my little murder shack while I do my voodoo.
It was so crazy.
I was like, okay, no, this is my thing. And this is my thing that I've been so excited to talk about is we all know Alistair is depraved. We know he's a serial killer. Like, we know that he is a messed up human. But seeing this and seeing how he was on Earth is like a whole different level. Like, he is like, if he were a real person, people would still be making documentaries about him today.
100%.
Like, 100%. That's how fucked up he is. And we need to talk about the voodoo that is clearly such a huge influence because I don't see a lot of people talking about it. Like, very often, but it's like there's a clear voodoo influence into what Alistair is doing. And he's done his homework because what is he doing in his little murder shack? Why, he is painting a little pictogram with some blood that he then, partakes in because why not cannibal? I guess he was cannibal in real life too. we never had that confirmed that he was a cannibal while he was a human. So I mean, this could be a confirmation. But he does that, and who does he summon? The voice Rosie,
which is wild. The way my jaw dropped, and I was like, wait. And Amir talked about it. We're going to share a clip with you guys. He was he's so excited for this to be out there. He's known
so
since
excited.
season 1 because of course he has. But like he has seen all of us be like, they're friends. We love them. They're such good friends. They're not friends, guys.
He's just laughing at all of us.
Friends.
They're not equals.
No.
Like, we find out that he has been, because we, you know, Alastor mentioned in season 1 that he is on somebody's leash.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's Rosie.
So I knew in season 1 that it was Rosie.
You did?
I did. And I was so excited because everyone, the way they talk about Alastor and Rosie, like all the fans, are like, I love their friendship so much. They're like besties. Best friends. And I would ship them, but I can't ship them because they're friends and they're such good friends. And you don't want to fuck up their friendship. And I'm like, ugh.
Shocked. I never ever would have expected.
Never. That was the biggest twist. Like, Angel was a big twist. I know my jaw dropped with that, but this was the one that I went, oh my God.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like,
did not see this one coming.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be somebody like a new character being introduced or something, not just like someone that we've already known for so long, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, there were theories. There were theories that he was like,
theories.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
I saw a really good like Sarah theory
one
time. Yeah, I was like,
but no, it's wrong.
Like, it's wrong. No, it's
sorry.
It's
sorry for the nice theory, but
sorry guys, but you know, Alastor he knew he was going to hell, and he's like, you know what? I want to be the strongest sinner in hell.
But she just made sure he died 2 seconds later. I was like,
no, that was crazy.
Savage.
The best part is so funny. She's like, and then he just died. Like 2 days later,
girl.
Which if any of you watching this are like in the fandom or have read any of the wikis, you'll know how Alastor died. And it was burying a body in this little bayou, got shot by a hunter who mistook him for a deer. Ergo, deer demon.
I just did not expect it to be right after the deal.
I didn't expect it to be. He's like, I'm gonna go continue to do my stuff on Earth. Nope, just kidding. You're gonna die.
Yeah, she was like, okay,
welcome
you want to be powerful down here? Well, I'm gonna make it happen now.
You know that he has been containing the rage from that because he mentions it in their song together too.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing a lot of stuff for Rosie because we don't know why. We don't know what her end goal was. Could it have something to do with Lilith? Could it have something to do with something else? We don't know. So he's been containing all of this for so long for her. And it really kind of makes you look back at his character.
Yes.
The past season.
Even just like when he brought Charlie to Rosie, like all that stuff is like, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It changes so much. And like, I can't wait to see, you guys are technically seeing this the day after it has come out. But like, so we will already have seen I can't wait to see the reactions online.
That's what I want to see. It's the reactions to it because we know human Alastor, okay, but the reactions to Alastor and Rosie are going to be absolutely crazy. I have been saying for months, we've only had it for a month, for a month. Saying for months, it feels like it's been months. I've been saying for a month. There's this, and there's a bit later in the season that I have been most excited for people to see.
So I can't wait.
Listen,
I can't wait.
It's insane. And then Alastor just goes in and lets himself get captured by Fox in this one.
Can we talk about the fight scene and the animation in that fight scene?
I
Holy
want
crap.
posters of like every single shot. Like that is, you could freeze frame it and make a poster out of everything.
It is. I'm like, this is an insane quality. And I think I remember Viv saying something at New York Comic Con where we were like, oh, they got the Prime Video money. And she's like, no, we just have animators now working on the show that like the show.
Right.
Like, oh, okay. Because you can tell like the way they have done some crazy shots. There are some insane shots in that scene. Like, especially I think it's like with Alastor using his little like shadow tentacles to like pick up the cars.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God.
And I think it was like
moment.
The bridge scene where they're like going across the bridge. Like that was insane. Like I was
scene,
so
I know.
The scene
like,
where
immersed.
It's just like the animation detail alone, like the scene where Alastor is standing on the ground and like static goes up through him.
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh my god, just
I
the animation in that.
I need them to make these ones that they sign at their table. Like print them out. I know you guys have the way to do
I think
this.
Amir's doing one.
Amir has the
He
one
has
of
one from
Vox
the-
and
Yeah.
no, he has the one from Vox and Alistair from that fight scene.
Oh,
where
he
they're
does.
like-
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, I
yeah,
missed
he had
it.
like that one. He
Okay.
had it at, I think he had it in London, and I think he said he's going to have it moving forward. So
Well,
if you're, and I
want
was
one.
like, I'm hissing with jealousy right now.
I know.
Because I want that print.
Amir,
I want it so badly.
bestie, send it to us, please.
Bestie.
Or at least
Send
let
me
us
one.
see you somewhere. Come somewhere near us. I'll go. I'll pay for it. I don't just
Literally.
want it.
Yeah, you. I'm like you. Unfortunately, they never go out your way. They're always out here our
I
way.
know.
Just
Well,
come
they
stay
were
with
at
us.
Anime Pasadena last year, but
Oh,
they aren't
yeah,
going to be
they
there
were.
this year. No.
Well, just come stay
'Cause I
with
got
us, and
that
we'll go to con.
Poster with all of them signed it, remember?
Yeah,
Mhm.
remember that now. Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, it's
Anyways,
crazy.
Off
That
topic,
fight
but
scene. And anyway, so yes,
so
we have
good.
the fight scene. We have Alistair telling Vox that he'll make a deal. You know,
never trust a
'cause
deal,
his whole-
guys.
never trust a deal with a demon in hell.
I
So
love
he
all,
makes
all
a
the
deal
stuff
with
that's
it.
going on. I know. I was like,
Oh,
this is crazy. It's just the way that this was such an Alistair heavy episode, I feel like, obviously.
yes.
Yeah.
Which I
Mhm.
loved. And I was so excited to finally get the backstory. And I felt like it just kept giving. It was one of those episodes where I was like, okay, now we're going to wrap up. And like, that was the big reveal. Now this is happening.
No.
You're just like, what is going on?
There's still one more big reveal in this episode, everybody. This is not the end of it.
What is it, Rachel?
Well, you
Great
see,
lead in.
you see, Sir Alistair so graciously lets himself become the V's prisoner, and you know, Vox is out here touting him around in a spinny chair, all tied up in a spinny chair. We cut to a scene towards the end of the episode with Valentino and Vox, and where are they? They're in bed together.
They're in bed.
Shocker!
Watch us all be so surprised. What?
We're so shocked. Oh my god, static mop? Real?
man.
Question
What?
mark?
No.
What?
I mean, it was still very exciting for confirmation, but
It's
it
great
was
to have
not
confirmation,
very
but
surprising.
It was not surprising, but it was so I like this show. One of the things I love about the show is that it just continues to like throw in like funny little bits that kind of
Mhm.
like surprise you and catch you off guard. And it's after that when they cut over to where Alistair is still tied to his chair.
And it's just like he's just sitting there, like this poor guy. Like, what are we doing?
Arrow Ace King watch.
He's
Like,
like,
that's the
this
worst
is
start
great,
to a
guys.
ball.
I know. Right.
But and then we get the reprise
Yes.
of Don't You Forget
I know. That was
with
so
Vox
good
and
too.
Alistair, which is
Yeah.
our stayed gone moment of this
I
season.
know.
Which the stayed gone callback in that song at the end of it
Yes.
made me scream
I
the
know.
first time I watched it.
I know. I think we talked about that with
Confirmation,
Sam.
it happened.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good. So guys,
It was so
in that
it's
section
so
you'll
good.
see Sam talk about it. But oh man, so great.
It's-
Oh, wait, we have to talk about Kimiko. We totally skipped over that.
oh my god, we
Sorry.
Once it
We were
Because
so-
that's I was gonna say, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, you guys are just passing this over, but I was like, you know, I'm just gonna let them talk because they're yapping
No,
about
stop
Alistair.
us.
Alistair. we
No,
can
but
still
like-
talk about-
I think by far, like,
we'll let you talk about
yeah,
No,
you
Kimiko.
want to Sophie.
it's just
Sophie,
it's
talk
just
about
so
Nifty.
funny. Nifty, I
Talk
fucking
about
love
Nifty.
Nifty, as you can see. But it is just like the best way to like have her get her own song, because then it's just like Charlie's in the little studio, they're like forcing her to be like, okay, tell us about this,
Katie
Mhm.
Killjoy, Supremacy.
and then like it's just the fact that she's
Katie's
like, I
so
can't
great.
do it because she gets camera shy still.
yeah, which
And then
is
she's just like-
hilarious.
Just sing it or something, and then she just
It's a
goes
picture
off
Big
and starts
Roach.
singing. And
Yeah,
it's just
a
like
big roach,
I'm
yeah.
sitting there and it's just like la dee dee, this is great. I'm enjoying it. And then she just goes straight into like J-pop, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is the best thing ever. Just like how fun was that for you to do?
It was so fun, and it was really exciting to see that they incorporated that into it, because I'm half Japanese, and like Japan is such a big part of my life because my mom grew up there and we go every summer, and so like it was just I've always wanted to have an excuse to like incorporate the Japanese language or like shoot in Japan somehow. So it was really exciting, but also just exciting in general to like be able to have a song in this show. It's like, I don't know, it feels like it's such a gift. And to like have any clue what Nifty is thinking, or
I think my favorite
So
part is
freaking
she's
funny.
like garbage and she's screaming.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like,
she's saying where she's like actually praising the hotel, but because she's only saying the negative words in English,
Yeah.
everybody thinks that she's trashing
yes. And
I
she's like, I'm
know.
doing such a great job. And then that's like when the whole fight scene is happening, like you're getting like
first-
the tail end of it. And actually, and it was like out of nowhere, it was Husk, right? That was there.
Alistair's in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, Alistair's in trouble, and she just grabs them and just runs. And I'm just like, you know what? This is her.
Also,
she needs to protect Alistair. She is Alistair's protector. Like
I
this
love
whole
her.
thing.
But okay, no, that's the whole thing because Alistair brought Nifty to the hotel. We still
Yeah.
don't know why. We
I
still don't know
know.
Nifty's backstory.
Maybe
So like
she
very
was helping
clearly,
him
Alistair means a
kill
lot
people.
to him.
Yeah.
It hurt.
I
No,
know.
but also, can we please talk about the moment right before Nifty kidnaps Husk and just unsubtly throws him on top of the V's, where we're having another little Husker Dust moment. It's our little
I
Husker Dust
know.
moment.
Little crumbs,
And
little crumbs.
The little crumbs, and Angel's looking at his phone, and he's like, "You ever heard of blobfish?" He shows it to Husk, and Husk is like, "Why are you like this?"
I know.
No.
So great.
I need to know if that was like improv.
I
That is
know.
my burning question for
That's a
this
great
because
one.
I'm like, this seems like such a Blake thing.
It
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it does not seem like it's something that anybody on this show wrote. It seems like Blake was like, what if I just had Angel pull up this random animal and show it to Husk?
I feel like he would too, for real.
I'm like, I need to know. Blake,
know.
tell me.
And we'll play the clip here, but Kimiko was super excited to be able to include her heritage in here. And then also
Yes.
like we mentioned it, but like there's like the ticker along the bottom is hilarious. It's so funny.
What is
Pause it.
this,
You have to pause
Japanese?
it.
Yeah.
What is this, Japanese?
It's so great. But I
Any
love
of the
it.
tickers this season are on one. They're
they're
so
so great.
freaking funny.
It's so great.
They're so
It's my-
good this
It's my
season.
favorite thing to just pause it and just be like, okay,
What was that?
what unhinged thing am I gonna see today?
I know.
I'm trying to remember one, but I don't remember if it's like in an episode that's already aired.
Oh
so I'm
yeah.
not
So
gonna
don't say it.
I'm like,
Don't say it.
yeah, so I'm like, I don't remember. So
Better to err on the side of caution, guys.
caution.
That
Guys, we
is
are
the
a spoiler-free
struggles.
zone.
Poor us. I know it's so hard to
Yeah.
remember because we got to see them all. I feel so sorry for us. No, you guys, I'm sure you feel so bad for us. It's so hard to keep it
hate
straight.
that
in
I've
our
seen
heads.
them all.
Right.
God.
But yeah, so I mean, these were 2 great episodes, and we are now officially halfway through the season, which is crazy. It's going so
Sad,
fast,
but
and I
crazy.
hate it.
I know.
But yeah, why don't we talk to Sam Haft here? All right, and now we've gotten to the part of the podcast where we are going to break down this week's songs with songwriter Sam Haft. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thanks for having me.
Now we get to talk about what everyone has been waiting for, which was, I mean, Cherry and Pentas's their duet, which everyone has been dying for this. And I know the emojis came out and people were like, wait, I know what this is going to be.
Like, I know what it is.
It's going to be a love song.
This
Can you talk about
lovely
that?
80s yacht rock song.
It's so
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with it.
Thank you. Piss is I feel like, one of the monumental achievements of my career. First of all, even just getting away with that title. Andrew and I, like, again, we pitch a lot of goofy titles and
Yeah.
not all of them make it through. And we were positive. We were going to hear back from the whole writing team. Everyone was just going to be like, no, don't call it piss. But I'm so monumentally proud of Piss, parentheses, a love song. Because it's just like, it's a love song that really could only exist for this show, for these characters. It's like, there is no world in which this song could exist in any other way. You know, there are songs where it's like, oh, I could hear that in this sort of musical, that sort of musical. No, this is a song that is like one half like sad boy steampunk boy band and one half like Avril Lavigne and Riot Girl, and then they combine into like a power 80s power ballad. Like there's no world in which this song could exist outside of these characters in this show. Um, and when we first started the song, the whole thing was an 80s power ballad. And and then our note was like we had to sort of separate them into their distinct styles before we could combine them. Because when we were first thinking like what would you do to combine that kind of like boy band harpsichord driven boy band sound that is serpentious with the kind of like Riot Girl thing that Cherry has going on. We were like, oh, that's like, you know, the like big a handkerchief clutching 80s power ballad. And we knew we had to get there, but then the note we got back was like, yes, but we neither of these characters have sung on their own before, so they really need to communicate what is their style before we see those styles knit together. So we had to sort of work backwards and like deconstruct the song into its constituent parts. So yeah, we have that Pentious like sad boy band thing, the boy band like kind of Backstreet Boys with harpsichord, and then we have, you know, Cherry come in a completely different musical style and watch those slowly inch closer and closer and closer. They have the flashback, which introduces the harpsichord to her rock world, and then eventually we get this big romantic ballad. It has some of my favorite lyrics in the whole season. I love the idea that their love is based on a foundation of beating the piss out of each other. Like that is, and it's also such a great exploration of why Cherry feels so existential in hell and why Pentious feels so upset in heaven, is like they're missing this sort of thing that they didn't even realize how much they loved it until it was taken from them. And this idea of this, it's not even enemies to lovers, because nowhere in this song are they craving each other's embrace or kiss or any, like they're craving the fight, and the fight is their love language. And that was just so exciting to tackle. It's I'm trying to remember the exact lyric. Hold on. Sorry, this just you can edit this so we don't have dead air.
Like talk amongst yourselves while I figure this out.
But I feel like the montage though was like the best thing, because it's just like we're just sitting there watching them so just funny. Like blow each other up. They're like, it's just the creative ways of them like, okay, how am I gonna attack you now? Yes. And what am I gonna do? Or like, where am I gonna come from? Because at one point it's just like, I feel like you're coming from like way over here and you're trying to do this, and they're trying to deflect each other and fight each other off, but then someone's like, no, I got a bigger gun and I got a bigger missile. I'm gonna blow you up right here, right now. We're both going. Like it's an arms race as a grand romantic gesture. And the line that I'm thinking of that like truly is, it might be my favorite line in all of season 2 is, they say time heals all wounds. I'm going to make myself cry, but the wounds are what I miss.
Yeah.
And this idea that healing is the thing, like, you know, this idea that like, oh, don't worry, with time you'll heal. And that's the last thing they want. They crave that rawness. They crave the wound. And the further they get removed from the wound and the more they heal, the more broken they are, because they need it.
Yeah, and it kind of mirrors like the whole redemption arc within the show too. Like redemption's not for everybody. So,
That's
you know,
true.
you can try to heal the wounds, but sometimes healing the wounds is not going to be the thing that is the best for you.
Yeah.
Aw, you're gonna make me cry.
Oh, here's a note. Here's a
scene.
note in the song, by the way, that is like kind of an Easter egg. There is a choir that comes in the pre-chorus that they say time heals all wounds after the flashback, and the choir is all Blake doing Egg Boy layers.
Oh,
The egg
Yeah.
No.
Which is and we
I can't watch this again. I'm gonna kill myself. I can't. It's too much.
We have very rarely recorded cast members as cast and like not shown them. And we do have like a dialogue line of Blake, but like it was so important to us that the choir layers be egg boys. It was because it's normally the kind of thing that like we would do ourselves and just have like our own sort of songwriter, choir, background vocals, like just like, well, it doesn't really matter that much. But for this, it mattered so much that it be like, nah, kind of egg boys.
And it's important. We need the egg boys.
Listen, I was so excited when there were Heaven Egg Boys that were made. I was like, yay, egg boys!
Yay.
So the next song, which we don't know the name of,
it's called Speedrun to Redemption.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
God.
That was so fun. I love that song.
I love that. It's a fun song. It really is a fun song.
Thank you. Speedrun to Redemption is really like, you know, again, we don't get a lot of opportunities for fun and games songs. So this one, again, was just like Charlie trying to it's playing two games at the same time, one of which is like Charlie trying to put on a show for the cameras of like, see, we can do this, but the other is the game of like Charlie is trying to do this while simultaneously having still so much non-unpacked grief from losing Pentious that she's just essentially trying to turn Angel Dust into Sir Pentious by the end of this song. And that idea of like, you know, hey, do some good deeds, do more good deeds, faster. And the song also reflects that the every single time she has Angel doing a good deed, we slowly increase the speed of the song because she's getting more and more and more desperate. It also features Erica doing a Sir Pentious voice, which like we didn't know how she would tackle that. And we were very glad that I'm very glad that it's not that good at impression. Just
it works.
It's passable.
It works.
It's a passable
No.
impression.
I think it's more fun. Like if she did a perfect Pentious, I actually think this is more fun than if she had a perfect Pentious. She's like, stop speaking like this. Like she just
like a Dracula voice almost.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
It's so great.
Yeah.
That's such a fun one too.
Hannah and Charlie is bad at impressions. Now we know.
Yes, noted. Yeah.
She couldn't do the demos like you do, apparently. I mean, actually, that would be hilarious to hear. And so then we got the next song is like the big reveal of Alistair and Rosie, which my jaw, I was like, it was Rosie.
Oh no, people are gonna freak out.
It was
about this.
Yeah, when we were talking to Amir at New York Comic Con, he's like, it's hilarious because everyone's like, I can't even ship them. They're such good friends. And he's like, yeah.
I can't ruin their friendship.
Yeah. I mean, I think so fun. I mean, I think part of it too is like it squares a circle to a degree. Like it answers maybe kind of a hanging question because we see Alistair like generally as a character in season 1 who's not really capable of proper friendship. You know, Mimsy shows up and claims to be his old friend, but clearly he does not hold a lot of affection for her. And then we see Rosie and Alistair and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Does he have a close friend and confidant? Is he the kind of character with his sort of grandiosity and heightened view of himself that is even capable of such a thing? And the answer is kind of not really. You know, I think they're joined at the hip for a very different specific reason. And part of this that was so exciting was giving the opportunity for Rosie to really like, you know, plant a flag in the ground of like, this is what a Rosie song sounds like.
Yes.
And, you know, we have a degree of that in Ready for This in season 1, but that's kind of a marriage of Charlie and Rosie. And it's a song that Charlie starts and just has little bits of influence of Rosie's kind of like Hello Dolly thing. But don't you forget, because it exists primarily for Rosie, but at the nexus of like Rosie and Alistair, is built around a Charleston progression. And so that was like where we started with this, was like we wanted to kind of like a fun, happy little Charleston jazz of like there isn't shit you can do about this, you know, I got your soul. And
And it works.
we
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And also especially season 1 until, you know, he gets wounded by Adam. Alistair always has one up on everybody. I mean, even like Lucifer, you know, like Alistair is constantly outsmarting people in their own musical numbers and always feels in control. And then creating this great inversion of power in episode 4, where Alistair is like really in a bind, and we have no idea how he's going to get out of it, and things just keep getting worse for him throughout the episode. And so to kick that off with this jaunty little Rosie number was such a blast.
That was so fun. When did you know that Rosie was? Amir said he knew season 1. When did you knew season 1?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
In fact,
man.
I would say to a degree, I knew before I worked on the show, because when Vivienne and I started working together, she took me out for lunch at Bob's Big Boy in Burbank,
Oh,
and
yeah.
basically like pitched me on the entirety of both shows. And there are a lot of things that have changed since that conversation.
Yeah.
But that didn't. And you know, like she has that, like, truly, when she says in interviews, she's like, oh, I've had this whole thing planned out since, you know, middle school. She really does. There are a lot of things that, like, to be clear, there are a lot of things that have changed since that conversation. But there are, you know, there are moments that we get to where I'm like, oh, right. We talked about this over hamburgers. Like, and Rosie and Alistair were definitely a part of that.
Oh my God, I love that. That's so, I was just like, literally, I was like, what? Like, I did not see it coming at all.
No, I did not either. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
So that
in fact,
explains so much.
Absolutely. In season 1, during writing Ready for This, there were some lines. There's that moment in Ready for This where Alistair's like, you know, she's filled with potential that I can guide. And that little exchange in there, we changed those lyrics to that because initially he was talking about like, we can guide her. And Viv was like, no, creating a we here is going to give too much away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, people would have picked up on that for sure. Been like, what does that mean? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The sleuths in this fandom.
Go solve murders. That was so funny. I don't know if did you see the panel of New York Comic Con? They were like,
no.
They were like, guys, you should be solving murders instead of like.
And it was Alex.
Yeah.
It was Alex who said that. He's like, you guys should be solving murders.
Because it was like
this.
They saw Viv followed someone and then liked a certain photo, and they were like, oh, that person is.
It's wild the way that people like monitor the interconnected social media likes and stuff to be like, who's going to be in the show next?
I know, it's crazy.
Impressive.
Okay, I'm super excited to talk about Nifty's song because it's so fun. And it's so fun that she gets her song finally, and then of course including the Japanese in it. Can you talk about this?
Yeah. So Clean It Up, which is called, well, in the show is titled by Katie Killjoy, Everything That's Wrong with the Hazbin Hotel. But Clean It Up, as it's known in the soundtrack, was something that we discussed with Viv like early on during the Writers' Summit of season 2, was this idea of not only does Nifty get a song, but we want it to live in this like J-pop space. And to the animators' credit too, the way that they make it feel like Nifty's like we're seeing in Nifty vision, and it's like our little anime opening. It's such a fun time. Yeah, I mean, like that was the goal, was like to bring in like big anime opening credits energy, and to go like really a mile a minute because like Nifty is this like hyperactive little goblin, and we needed to make a hyperactive little goblin song. And it's so funny because Kimiko is such a tremendous vocalist, and yet Nifty is like so, technically the song has a melody, but like Nifty is just so like like the whole, like, you know what I mean? It has melodic contour, but like really it feels like the key to the delivery of the song is just a kind of vibe.
It is. Yeah, because that's what sets it apart is like the whole Nifty vibe, the whole thing and the lyrics in that song are hilarious.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
In her interview, she's like, I think some of the, what did you say? She goes, I think some of the first words I sang were come and jizz. And then she's like,
they
Yes.
were. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's
I was like,
just funny because they're like, we all know she's camera shy, and then they're like, just talk about the hotel, like what do you do? And that's when she's like, okay, I got it, and then she just starts going like without hesitation. I was like, oh, this is wonderful.
Yeah, and the game of the song was always that like Nifty is speaking really highly of the hotel, but like what Nifty thinks highly of does not sound appealing to everybody. She's excited that she gets to clean up, jizz and murder rats. And to oh my God. Also, one of my favorite pieces of Kimiko delivery too is when she's like, and now they treat me like their queen because I'm covered in rat blood. Like the like.
It was so good.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah,
and
that
the
voice
ticker
was great.
during it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The ticker at the
Totally.
bottom.
What is this,
oh my God.
Japanese?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the Japanese section like is when Charlie's like, could you help differently? The Japanese section is legitimately complimentary, except the only English words you hear are like trash and assholes. So like it's, if you didn't understand Japanese, you would just think that she's doing the same thing of like, yeah, everything's garbage, but garbage is good. But in reality, she's like, like Charlie's a wonderful boss. I believe in her dream. And like sinners are assholes, but like I know she can do this. Like it genuinely like is really earnest and positive, but just like Nifty's not capable of helping in a straightforward way, so she just switches languages. And I also have to give our shout out to like we had multiple like Japanese consultants on that piece, so like we wanted to make sure that it was delivered as sort of naturally as possible. And Kimiko, obviously, she speaks some Japanese. Like she has. So, she has, thank God, she has experience there, because at the very beginning of writing this, when we were like, oh, what if we just switch languages? I remember texting her and I was like, hey, how good's your Japanese? She was like, it's okay. And you just like the most kind of, what are you about to get me into response. And truly, it was like, what a blast that was. And like it managed to contain so much character while also like the attention to detail. We had, not only did we have like, we had people consult on the lyrics and the language stuff, but we also had someone like on the call while we were directing Kimiko in that, just to like make sure that like words were getting like nailed and all that stuff. Like there's so many things that are firing on all cylinders on that song. And it's 200 beats per minute and it's less than a minute long. And it feels like such a big, long song, but because it's going so fast, it's in and out. It's a minute long gag. Truly, it's a minute. And I mean, it's less than a minute because a chunk of that minute is Charlie at the end crying. So
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was that short.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
literally, I'm sitting here going, I thought it was like at least. Well, I didn't realize Gravity is as short as it is either.
Yeah,
because
I know.
Yes,
it's-
yeah.
I love
and
that
part
though,
of that
because
too.
we get that. Yeah.
Totally. Part of that too is songs are really expensive to animate. And so we would go into episodes being like, this is how many minutes of music time we can afford to write this episode. So there was always a balancing act of like, how long can this song be? How long can that song be? And because the Nifty song is essentially a gag, like it's, that had to be the shortest of the three songs. but also because it's so fast, it doesn't feel short.
Yeah.
And it really like an anime opening, it is like the length of an anime opening.
Yeah.
So like that's part of the fun of it was like, hey, there are so many songs that like we're fans of that exist in that world. Like how would we make our Nifty like what is the theme song to the Nifty show?
Yeah. It's so good. I was like, oh my God, she changed languages. This is crazy. Reading the ticker at the bottom, I was like, this is the best thing that has ever happened. It's so good. It's so great.
Totally.
And then we go from that to a Vox and Alistair duet, which is so
Yes.
exciting.
With a very
Yes.
fun callback at the
Yes.
end.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Alistair in season 1 is what I would refer to as a musical colonizer in that Alistair does not start any songs in season 1. He finishes songs. Someone will start like Vox will start his song and Alistair will come in and take it over. Lucifer will start his song. Alistair will come in and take it over. So that like Alistair's kind of puckish energy of as like a chaos agent is he comes in and he makes your thing his thing. And we wanted to, again, part of this big inversion of power in this episode, to do that to him from Vox. And so this idea of like Vox taking this musical idea that has been introduced by Rosie, that like, yeah, this is the song of Alistair's rock bottom. And of course, Vox is going to also like regurgitate that energy, even though it's going to be a little bit sonically different because his musical influences are not Rosie's musical influences. And also, people, what do they call it? Radio static. Everyone loves Vox and Alistair as a pairing.
Oh my God.
Val
That's so
too,
great.
apparently.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. I know.
No,
I mean,
they're dynamic this season alone.
Yeah.
I know.
I love that we're getting more of it, and I love that we're getting to explore more of it within song, because they have
Absolutely.
just two diametrically opposed like styles, and it's really interesting to put them together.
Yeah.
It works so
And
well.
what's really interesting too is, Alistair's strength, as Alistair sees it, is him being a lone wolf that is like this dynamo unto himself. And he marks Vox's reliance on others as a weakness.
All right, guys. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that conversation with Sam about this week's songs. Don't forget to join us next Thursday right here to talk about those songs from episodes 5 and 6. And maybe, just maybe, no, definitely, we will have a special guest besides Sam. So you guys don't want to miss it.
Stay tuned to find out.
Yes. And let us know in the comments what your favorite song, what your favorite moments of these 2 episodes were. We can't wait to chat with you guys about it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.